Hey everyone, Brett from Kitchen Table Commander here, and I'm back with another deck tech. This time I'm taking a look at the alternate commanders from Commander 2019. Recently I was challenged to build a deck around any of the alternate commanders from the recently released Commander 2019 decks. Being a cat dad, I was drawn towards Marisi. Look at that kitty and tell me he doesn't look like the kind that rubs up against your leg to let you know he's there while secretly planning your murder. That's right, you can't. Before we get into the deck, I want to take a minute to remind you to subscribe if you haven't already, and click that like button while you're at it. Helps out the channel. With that out of the way, let's get into it. First, let's take a look at our commander. Marisi, Breaker of the Coil, is a 5/4 for 1 of anything, 1 red, 1 green, and 1 white mana. So far, that's a pretty well-costed creature. His first ability is your opponents can't cast spells during combat. Okay, so no combat tricks to worry about. That seems pretty good too. But wait, there's more. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, go to each creature that player controls. Yes, dance, puppets, dance. I mean, yes, well, you probably shouldn't attack me. I'm no threat and that opponent is just sitting there. Who knows what evil scheme they're cooking up? You should probably just attack them. What? You can't attack me anyway? All the more reason to attack them. So obviously we want to really take advantage of that last ability. What better way to win the game than by letting your opponents fight amongst themselves? To really push the political envelope, we want to be able to offer our opponents choice, or at least the illusion of choice. So that's why we've included Duelist Heritage and Angelic Purge to be able to offer our opponents boost to their creatures, but also give us the option to do the same to ours. Along that same line, we've included Gahiji Honored One and Gisela Blade of Gold Knight to encourage our opponents to take each other out. We've also included Varchild Betrayer of Keldor to give your opponents more creatures to attack with that are essentially goated, with the added bonus of getting all the survivors back later. But we still haven't hit maximum goad yet, so that's why we've included Bloodthirsty Blade for targeted goad. Disrupt Decorum lets us really get our goad on to help us round out a close game. Grenzo gives us a cheap backup for Marisi and gives us the flexibility to cast the top of our opponent's library if they just tutored up something spicy. This all sounds good, but it's only effective if we can get damage through. So we've got a wide range of ways to make that happen. Trample is our friend here, so we've included Archetype of Aggression, Loxodon Warhammer, Street Riot, Larger Than Life, Nylea God of the Hunt, Vorak Battlehorns, and of course Akroma's Memorial. With Akroma's Memorial putting in 110% by giving our creatures flying, first strike, vigilance, haste, and protection from black and from red. Keeping our opponents from blocking is another alternative, so we've included Ferropede to consistently get through and slowly whittle down any planeswalkers or countersinks like Marith. Soltari Visionary and Soltari Gorillas are gold in this strategy since most decks don't include creatures with Shadow, so you can usually get through every combat. The added bonus with the Visionary is that you get to blow up an enchantment that player controls. It's not too often you'll be using the Gorilla's ability here since it's way more fun to watch them attack elsewhere with their big threats. Master Warcraft gives you control over any combat phase you want. It gives you the flexibility to assign no blockers on your attack, but it also allows you to negotiate with your opponents on theirs. Use this power wisely. Bow of Nylea makes your opponents think twice about blocking by giving all your attacking creatures Death Touch. Dryad Sophisticate will 99 times out of 100 get through since it's not a commander game unless someone has a non-basic land. Having Miri Weatherlight Duelist in the deck means that no matter how wide your opponent goes, they'll only be able to attack or block with a single creature, giving her a dual purpose in this deck by adding a bit of protection if your opponents manage to be able to attack you at all. Manifold Key gives you the option to make a creature unblockable, but also lets you untap an artifact for a potential political move. Naya Charm is an all-star in this deck, giving you spot removal, recursion, and the ability to walk right up to your opponent and give them a little slap free of risk. And what unblockable deck would be complete without Rogue's Passage and Whisper Silk Cloak? Because we need creatures to be able to get damage through, we need to keep them safe. So to do that, we have a bunch of ways to protect them. From the aforementioned Master Warcraft to Ghostly Prison and Dorn's Annex to prevent our opponents from attacking us, Authority of the Console slows our opponents down a turn and gives us a boost to life total, keeping us alive longer if they do manage to attack us. Glaring Spotlight gives us a bit of insurance against our opponents by constantly having them on edge as to whether or not we have a kill spell in hand or if we'll use it to protect our own creatures. Which brings us to Heroic Intervention and Favorable Destiny to give us more ways to give our permanents hexproof. And that leads nicely into Hammer of Nazan, Angelic Guardian, and Boros Charm, giving yet more instances of Indestructible, with the charm also giving you the option to do a little extra damage a couple of different ways. Wow, it's almost like I know what I'm doing. Nah. Giant Growth is such a cheap and effective combat trick I'd be silly not to include it here. Chaos Warp is great for protecting your stuff or getting rid of a big threat at any stage of the game. Temper turns a bad block into a bigger creature, so go ahead and block that Ulamog or Managorge or Hydra. Temper don't care. And just in case our opponents have managed to get rid of some of our permanents, or maybe you just want some stuff back, we've included Seasons Past to return any number of cards with different CMCs to your hand. Don't say I never gave you anything. Moving on to our value creatures. These are creatures that I can't lump in with any of the other categories I've already talked about, but are just awesome in this strategy. First up is Aether Membrane. It's a great blocker since it deters your opponents from attacking long enough to be able to deploy the Prisoner Annex. Aerial Responder or a Johnny's Sunstriker gives us a little incidental life gain, with the Responder getting it in consistently due to it having flying. And these pair nicely with Angel of Vitality, giving us added life gain and being a 4/4 flyer itself most of the time. Lieutenant is an ability that Loyal Apprentice and Angelic Field Marshal share that give us a boost if Marisi is on the battlefield. The Apprentice gives us a flyer each combat that we can get our goad with, and the Field Marshal gives us a nice flying body and gives all our creatures vigilance. Aki Underminer acts like a slow and painful board wipe. Not only are they forced to attack elsewhere if it gets through, but they have to sacrifice a permanent, making them easier to attack next turn or slowing down their plan. Akoum Firebird is a great hasty flyer that your opponents just won't be able to get rid of. Apocalypse Hydra is great at pretty much any point in the game, being a mana sink in the late game to come in with extra counters and be able to deal out damage to get rid of smaller blockers. And last are our dragons, cause why not a couple of dragons, right? We've included a Tarka World Render and Balefire Dragon to combo nicely, dealing crazy amounts of damage to either open up an opponent for an attack or just put them out of their misery. I've also included Domri Raid for a couple of reasons, but couldn't quite figure out where I wanted to put him in this video. Is it pseudo card draw? Is it protection? Is it getting damage through? Pretty much all of his abilities help our strategy in some way. His +1 gives us a peek into our future, or even better, a creature in hand. His -2 lets us decide who lives and who dies, and his ultimate -7 gives us another copy of Akroma's Memorial, sort of. Moving on to our mana base, we've gone a bit less budget than our normal builds, and I apologize, but this deck is a bit greedy in general, so I needed to make some sacrifices. To start, we've got the usual mana dorks with Birds of Paradise and Llanowar Elves, Trace of Abundance, Fertile Ground, and Verdant Haven to add extra mana when we tap our lands, with the added bonus of protecting a land with Trace and gaining some life with the Haven. Rampant Growth makes an appearance for consistency, Fellow Stone as the usual mana rock, and of course, being a political deck, I had to include my preview card, Pendant of Prosperity. And being a commander deck, you know I had to include Sol Ring. Given that we are 3 colors, we need a fair bit of color fixing with our land, so we've included Canopy Vista, Blossoming Sands, Boros Garrison, Boros Guildgate, Cinderglade, Clifftop Retreat, and Game Trail for duels. Jungle Shrine and Command Tower give us a little more flexibility by giving us access to any of our colors. Top that off with 9 forests, 11 mountains, and 10 plains, and you have 1 Marisi breaker of the Coil Political Commander Deck. Well, that about does it for today. What do you think about this deck? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video and you want to see more, you can help out the channel by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. You can also hit the notification bell to make sure you stay up to date with all of our content. It helps the channel and it's completely free. If you wanted to throw a couple of bucks our way to help us improve the channel, you can do that through our Patreon at patreon.com/KitchenTableCommander or through our sponsor, Inked Gaming. Use the affiliate link in the description below to let them know we sent you, and you can use coupon code KitchenTable10 at checkout to get 10% off your purchase. You can even pick up the Kitchen Table Commander playmat while you're there. As usual, you can find me on Twitter at KitchenTableCMD and on both Instagram and Twitch at KitchenTableCommander. Streaming Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll leave links in the description to all our socials. It's been a blast, and I'll see you in the next video.